let me talk about how Kenyans retire. This is according to statistics from many sources that I've collected. And the statistics will actually shock you. One of the statistics says that Kenyans receive only 34% of the money that they were earning from their last paycheck after retirement. So you are earning your last paycheck maybe 200,000. You will most likely going to receive 60,000 after retirement. So 34% investment rate of replacement of income in retirement. So that is shocking. If you are used to a certain lifestyle, it would mean that a lot of things will have to change. In fact, you'll have to get rid of 60% of your expenses if you're using 100% of your income towards your lifestyle and your expenses. It assumes that your costs are going to go down considerably low. And this is shocking, that 34% is the replacement rate as per CEIC. Then the same organization says that Kenya's savings rate is 6.1% of their income. So if you earn 100,000 shillings, you are most likely, if you are Kenyan, to be saving 6,100 shillings only. And here is where things become a little tough. If you get a mediocre interest rate on the saving that you are doing, if actually you invest in something that gives you any kind of interest rate, then you will still not be able to have saved enough and would have to work for at least 50 years to be able to replace your income in retirement. So already people are doomed to fail based on their savings rate. And this savings rate has also additional statistics. From all Kenyans, from informal sector, only 86% of people in informal sectors don't save towards retirement. As per the same statistics, 86%. So in 100 people, 86 people are not doing anything towards saving for retirement in the informal sectors. The people who do not have formal employment, the blue collar jobs, people who have manual jobs, people who have casual jobs, people who are underemployed because they are not working full time, such kind of people in personal businesses, in the Juakali sector, only 14% of them actually do anything towards saving and investment. That is a shocker, because if 40% of youth in Kenya are not employed in the formal sector, meaning that they are either underemployed or unemployed, and a majority of them are not having any kind of savings to start with, we are already in the path towards doom, according to statistics. According to the same statistics, only 10% of Kenyans will retire comfortably, meaning they will not depend on their children to finance their expenses. They will not have to struggle to be able to meet their needs. They will not be in old age poverty. They will not have to start selling off family land to meet their recurrent expenses. Only 10%, meaning that 90% at some point will have to struggle. At some point, will have to struggle. It is interesting that from the same statistics, you talk about people and they talk about, oh, I have saved this much. But a lot of people don't seem to understand that saving alone is not enough if you're going to generate enough value to be able to retire comfortably. In fact, a lot of old people still have to do additional jobs that may not be less paying, more manual, so that they can be able to meet their income threshold. Now, according to local research from Strathmore, 1 in 7 Kenyans will outlive their retirement savings, meaning the money they have in retirement will run out. 1 in 7 Kenyans will outlive, meaning that by the time they are heading towards their death, they will not have anything to live on. Anything, completely anything, according to Strathmore research. So that is a problem. That is a problem. To couple all this, the government coverage or contribution towards retirement age has now hit 7 billion shillings a year for the vulnerable old age people. So meaning that 7 billion is being used currently to be able to meet and to be able to give the vulnerable old people some sort of semblance in the way of support, in the way of medical bills, in the way of stipends and things like that. 7 billion is already going towards that. Now, according to the same extended research, men will only live an average of 3 years after retirement. So 3 years and then they die after retirement. Women will live an average 7 years plus after retirement. So what could be the major cause of death so soon after retiring that the average man will die at 63 and the average woman will die at 67 in Kenya? Could it be financial distress and pressure at that age? Could it be medical conditions that cannot be treated because people do not have money to go into retirement? Again, shocking statistics. According to the same research, majority of Kenyans distrusts financial institutions and pension institutions. Majority. So more than 50% distrust, completely distrust. They do not only not understand how they operate, but they distrust. They think if I give them my money, they will misuse it, they will do things, and they will misuse my money and eat my money, and I will not have anything in retirement. So these are financial institutions that should have Kenya should have more trust in. They don't trust them. Pension institutions that should be keeping your pension so that when you enter into retirement, you have a nest egg to retire with. Majority of Kenyans do not trust it. Maybe there's something that the institutions themselves or the government should be able to do to ensure that Kenyans can be able to trust, because you cannot put your money where you cannot trust the individuals in that institution or the institution itself. According to additional statistics, 81.5% of Kenyans above 60 still have to meet their needs by working. They still have to work. They have reached retirement age, but they still have to work some type of job to be able to make some type of income. So those are shocking statistics that if somebody wanted to retire, they still can't. And they will still have to take a job. And majority of the jobs that they take may actually pay much lower. So they work a lot harder and are paid much lower, even in retirement. That is suffering, my friends. Now, according to other statistics, NSSF payments may not be enough. So that is the National Pension Scheme that is government operated, because majority on average are given 450,000 shillings in a lump sum, or 6,000 shillings annuity, or every single month. Now, 6,000 shillings every single month, or a lump sum of 450,000 may not do much for most people who are entering into retirement. This is because they may have additional expenses to go into retirement. A lot of people have children in old age, and at the age of 60, they're still paying some school fees for their children, if not their grandchildren. So this lump sum would go very fast and will be finished very, very fast. Then the other thing is 70% of people who enter into retirement enter into business, and the majority of them actually do not succeed in business. So majority have some money that they have saved. They enter into business with the assumption that will make a killing and some money, or have enough to be able to have some income coming regularly. But majority of them will have these businesses go into failure. So what are the solutions? Because we can't talk about statistics without having any kind of solution. The first thing is to live below your means, regardless of whatever income that you make, regardless of whatever sector that you work in, living below your means. I always suggest that people live at least 70% of the of your income should be things that you cannot avoid paying for: your rent, your school fees for your children, all these things. 70%, so that you have 30% for exceptional expenses of, say, at least 20%. Those are expenses that you do not pay every single month. You do not have to pay. If push comes to shove, you do not have to pay for them, but you prefer to pay for them. Then 10% going towards, at least 10% going towards your saving and investments. Whatever amount of money that you make, because at least you have something that is growing, that is moving towards your retirement. The other thing is to invest. Whatever you keep aside, don't put it in cash. Don't put it in your bank account. Don't put it in places that are not going to generate income, because if inflation rate is currently 7% plus, and you keep your money in a place that is not generating you more than 7%, you are losing out on inflation. Your savings do not make sense at that point. Then the other thing is, maybe people need to start working on increasing their pension contributions. In Kenya, you are able to put your money towards a pension plan, are able to get a tax refund of up to 30% if you are in the higher tax bracket. Meaning that if you contribute 100,000, the net outflow from your pocket is around 70,000. So you contribute from your pocket 70, but you get from your balance 100 because of the tax rebate. Take advantage of such schemes. You reduce your tax liability and you increase your savings towards these pension funds that you already have. Maybe start working on a passive income source, and the earlier the better, because if you start experimenting, if you start risking at 20, at least by 30 you would have gotten enough knowledge and enough capacity to be able to make a good and sound financial decision, investment and plan. But majority of people want to do this when they are going into retirement. If you were never in any kind of business or invested in any kind of enterprise, what makes you think that at 60 you can be able to start one and be successful? So start risking those risks when you are still young. Start practicing on having some additional income on the side while you are in your 20s, because then you will have learned enough, grown enough, and have a lot more time to be able to generate this additional income, passive income over a period of time to ensure that your 60s are well catered for. I've done a video on financial moves that people in their 20s can be able to make, that can be able to help them grow in their finances and be able to retire a lot more comfortable. Because the earlier you start, the better it becomes. This bad behavior of Kenyans and people thinking that I will invest when I'm at a certain age, that is stupidity. It is keeping you poor. Invest as fast as you can, as early as you can, with the best interest rate that you can have, and generate, accumulate, and grow. Unfortunately, I will not romanticize, and I will not make it look cool and exciting like NFTs and Bitcoin and all these things. 100, if not 90%, if not more, of people will not make their value or their wealth not by having one thing that generates quick profits, but having small incrementals over a period of time consistently, some boring stuff and boring mathematics over a period of time to be able to be financially well off in their retirement. That is 90% or more of people. So people need to remove all this stupidity of thinking that there is one pill that you can take and become rich instantly the following day. Only microwaves make things fast. Life is not as fast as you desire for it to be. And if somebody is promising you quick profits with no risk, run. Don't be greedy, run. It's probably going to be a scam that is going to make your money go away. The other thing that people need to do and people need to understand is, if you're building a personal home, don't build a big palatial home that is going to have all the value that you have, all the wealth that you have tied into this asset that is not generating any income and is actually incurring additional costs for heating, lighting, maintenance and all these things. Build small, build scalable, put a little bit less money, put aside more money towards investments, and you could have some income coming even as you enjoy this home. Remember, people spend less than 50% of their lives in a house. So don't use 100% of your income to finance a house that you will only use for 50% of the time. It even becomes worse if this house is in the village where you only go for 2 weeks in a whole year. Some things may look obvious, but they are not obvious to a lot of people. Don't put your money if you're not going to generate as much value. Put some extra money towards investment and planning. A lot of Kenyans build big homes, and they say forever homes. You go big or go home. You do put a lot of money, do a lot of furnishings, struggle to pay for a house, and by the time you are retiring, you have a house, yes, but you have no other source of income. And if push comes to shove, you are not going to convert this big house into income. You are going to struggle financially. You are going to either end up selling this house or leaving this house to dilapidate because you cannot maintain it. So those are so shocking, some of the shocks about our Kenyan situation, how people retire. I hope that you are learning, you are growing, becoming better. I hope that you share this video to somebody who needs to see it, because the more people learn, the more people know, the better it is for you, because there is one less person that is dependent on everyone and one less person that is financially vulnerable and desperate. Thank you. My name is George Kingori, your online finance guide. Leave a comment down in the comment section and like this video. Thank you and enjoy your day.